For an outsider, India of even now is an enigma. A country with all four racial groups spread out in over 2 dozen states and union territories which were created on the basis of language. For them, India is a country that has over half a dozen religions, 1,000 dialects, hundreds different festivals, and over 1,000 way of living. In no other part of the world, existence of a country with such diversity can even be imagined. The fact that India is alive and counting is a big surprise for them. How did the country survive since millennium despite the total myopic vision of its political class? What was the mechanism used by our ancestors to ensure that the country remained culturally one despite all the apparent diversity seen by an untrained person? Dayananda Saraswati, founder of Arya Samaj, in his famous book Satyartha Prakash mentions, it is written in the Mahabharata that once upon a time the sage Vyas lived in Patal, the present day America, with his son and student Shuka. One day when the son asked his father a question on spiritual science, Vyasa intentionally directed him to ask the question to King Janaka of Mithilapuri. Hearing this, Shuka left for Mithilapuri. He first visited the continent that lay to the north and northwest of the Himalayas and was called Harivarsha, now Europe. Then the countries of the Jews called Hun, the Asia Minor. Then he came to China. From China he proceeded towards the Himalayas, then came to Mithilapuri. It is mentioned in the same book that Sri Krishna and Arjuna went to Patal, that is America, in an Ashwatthari vessel, that is one propelled by electricity, and brought the sage Uddalaka back with them on the occasion of Rajasurya Yajna of Emperor Yudhishthira. Prince Dhritarashtra was married to a princess of Kandahar, that is Afghanistan. Madri, the wife of King Pandu, was the daughter of the king of Iran, that is Persia. Prince Arjuna was married to Princess Ulupi of Patala, that is America. Now, how could they have done all those things unless these were part of the nation called Bharat? Perhaps the secret lies behind the call of the Vedas. Krinvantu Vishwamaryam, make the whole world Aryans, meaning people of noble character. Vyasa and his son Shuka, finding time to visit the distant Patala, that is the present day America, must have been prompted by that call. That is the call that ensured that the nation's culture remains inclusive, that finds unity in diversity, assimilating everything. A culture that believes that different ways of worship of God finally leads to the same goal. The credit also goes to the layman who lovingly nurtured it, holding it dear to his heart. He lived his values and passed it to the next generation. Thus, never there was an attempt to force it on others. Closer examination reveals that amidst the apparent diversity, there is a common thread that runs through it. They all believed that the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata were the stories of their ancestors. This common cultural thread bound them like flowers to a garland. Therefore, it comes as no surprise to hear about ancient versions of Ramayana and Mahabharata being found in other countries. It is also no surprise that idols of Vishnu, Shiv, Ram, Krishna, Ganesh were excavated in other countries far away from India. Linguists now confirm that Latin, one of the oldest languages of Europe, evolved out of Sanskrit. This only confirms that people of those countries were once upon a time part of the great nation called Bharat. Nature worship found common among the indigenous people of India, Australia, Africa and America only reinforces the view that those people shared the same cultural value with the Vedic culture of Bharat. A visit to any part of the country will prove the point further. Chances are that you may find a place that is identified with one of the characters in the epics. You may also find a village or an idol in the village temple that announces its identity with one of the characters in the epics. You will find the people happy to share with you the reason how the village god is named. In all probability, it may be to commemorate the visit of such and such person from the epic to their village. It may also be the consecration of the village idol by such and such person from the epics. But in all probability, these historical incidents will be in the form of local ballads. This made it easy to learn, preserve and transmit to the next generation. Kemnahalli in Mysore district of Karnataka is a village that lies on the outskirts of the city. Sri Mahalingeshwara Devasthana is one of its important landmarks. The idol in the temple is supposed to have been worshipped by King Bhagiratha, the legendary king who brought Ganga from heaven to earth. Once upon a time, the temple and its surroundings formed part of a flourishing township. For the villagers, the month Kartika is the time to welcome Panchapandavas and Kunti to their homes. As a welcome ritual in the evening, they lit a lamp in front of their homes. 5 earthen balls are also kept near the lamp. This will be followed by the ladies singing some songs. If you carefully listen to it, the reasons behind the rituals become clear. It is believed that the present Mysore Chamarajanagar also formed part of the sprawling ancient kingdom of Kunti Bhoja. The king was the foster father of Kunti, whom King Pandu of Indraprastha married. Thus for the people of the region, Kunti was not just a character in the epic, but a part of their own family, daughter of the soil. The villagers believed that their ancestors were invited by the Panchapandavas when Kunti conducted Gajagauri Vrata. They also believed that when time came for final ascent to the heaven, Yudhishthira sent invitation to the people of Mysore to receive a share of the king's treasury. But as ill luck would have it, by the time they reached Indraprastha, Yudhishthira had already distributed the wealth in charity and relinquished the throne. Heartbroken, they appealed to Kunti, who found some seeds of bean lying in the kitchen. So happy were the villagers to receive it, they did it on a condition that every year Kunti with Panchapandavas should visit their fields when crop flowers. It is believed that every year during the Kartika Masa, when the bean crop flowers, Kunti and Panchapandavas visit their fields. They are welcomed by keeping 5 sand balls near the earthen lamp lit in the evening in front of each house. It is this personal identity of the layman that formed bedrock of the cultural unity of the nation called Bharat. It is this identity that made people living in far-flung countries to look up to Bharat as its own.
ಕತ್ತಿನಲೆ ಸೊತ್ತಿಕೊಂಡ ಜೋಗೈನ ಕತ್ತಿನಲೆ ಸೊತ್ತಿಕೊಂಡ ಹಡವಿ ಅರಣ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಟ್ಟೊಂಡೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಕೊಂತಿದೇವಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಂತೆ